don't ever see the big league side. Never see them.
Like at all?
No, from a big league trainer to a big league coach to a big league this or that. Because we use two different, like they're in a stadium. So they just use up the stadium. Fans come to the stadium for all their type stuff. We're on the backfield. So.
See, but they don't come like hit BP on the backfields and stuff?
I mean, yeah, but typically like after our work day is done. So like by the time their hitters get ready at like 11 a.m., we're already out of there. Because I mean, shit, we're on the field stretching at 8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, at it.
I had
that for bullpens at 10 a.m.
That was my first year. Yeah, it's not like that anymore, but it used to be like that. Dude, yeah. I used to have 5:45. Okay, I'll tell. I'm usually getting. Well, we're in like mini camp right now. It's not spring training, so I'm wondering what it's going to look like. But usually it's about the same. But like kind of talking about y'all's facilities, like our big league side is like attached to our minor league side. They got their own stadium, but then there's the backfields that are right up against left field walls, like literally right behind the stadium.
Clearwater, right?
Yeah, we're Clearwater. And like we don't see them in the sense that like we definitely don't share the same cafeteria with them, not the same clubhouse. Like we're completely separate on that side. But we do see them because we have like the long 7 mounds that are like just the massive mound that every single complex has. That's on our minor league side. They come and hit BP. They take ground balls, everything on all the backfields. Our backfields are really nice. And like we'll see them that way in the sense that like, you know, we're going to the training room back and forth. You know, it's a different building. Going to the weight room, walking back and forth between the clubhouse. You can stop and just kind of see some of the guys getting their work in. I've always loved sitting back there behind the 7 mound, just watching big leaguers do their work, man. It's awesome watching. I love watching bullpens, watching how people go about their business, the things that they're doing, the little quirks, the little like isms that each pitcher has in a sense. And you kind of get to see that, you know, the reason a lot of these guys are here is because they're unique. They know themselves. They're comfortable. Like they all just look so comfortable there. You know, like everybody, like when you first get into pro ball, you got that, like that itchiness kind of like you gotta prove yourself. You got to go hit 99 in your first bullpen, you know, whatever it is. And that's the big side of me that took some time for me to realize that I don't need to do that. Like, you know, I'm not making the club my first bullpen, right? Like, it's like, you know, I gotta know myself. If I'm the type of person that needs to do that, cool. Like if you know yourself and you're good to do that, awesome, do it. Like that's you. But, you know, I've watched enough of them to see, you know, how guys go about it and, you know, found my own routine in that too. You know, I think that watching those guys that have made it and have been consistent up there, you know, they got the stuff, they got the mind, they got everything. It's kind of working for them. Watching how they do their work, you can pick up on so many little things that just are like, ooh, I could use that. I could try to do that. And it's just like, man, that's how the game of baseball works. You know, there's a reason that the vets love talking about baseball. It's because everybody likes to give ideas and pass them around. You know, this game's pretty cool in that sense.
But no, I mean, I feel like that was the best part about – it's definitely a good part about being here where it's like sharing a stadium. Nobody really practices in the stadium. Like, big leaguers are on the backfield every day. Like, and then today, what was it? We have a 9-pack. So, yeah. Ooh. And then, like –
we have a 10-pack.
Yeah. You see, and like with the Mets, we had a big league 10-pack. And it was like right outside the major league weight room and everything like that. And then during like early camp and mini camp and everything like that, during the start of big league camp, you could go over there and it would be like your pen day was after theirs. So if you got over there early, and we were stretching on the big league practice field too. So like if you got over there early enough, you could see DeGrom, like you could see Scherzer, all these guys, and like last year, Verlander,
whoever.
So it was just like sitting there and being able to witness that. It was just insane.
What you owing to?
But yeah, like I was saying, it was just the constant just moving around from activation to stretch, and then bands, plyos, throwing program, and then you go into conditioning. Which is like, dude, whenever you think about it, you've been on your feet. Well, no, PFPs and then conditioning. You've been on your feet for
and then to add to that, you're not on your own time, so it's not like you have to take your time to go to stretch. You take your time to do your bench. You take
everything's blocked.
I got to be out of here in 15, 20 minutes.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got this, I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's.
I mean, we're lucky here with the Twins because I hear you guys say you're in cleats for 6-7 hours. Where luckily, I'm not gonna lie, we're in cleats for 45 minutes maybe, because because we really just wear cleats to stretch and throw, and then we're done. You know,
yeah.
So like,
Phillies have got like a lot better with that. Like we're not in. It's not what it used to be. Like I used to actually be in cleats for 6 to 7 hours my first few spring trainings, and it's like walking from field to field. Like back then, it was you had to shag BP, you had to go sit on the warning track, then you had to run on the warning track in your turf. So that was the one thing you could do. Then at the end of the day, you got to go into the weight room. Like that was for us way back then. That was like last on your priority list, and like obviously. Yeah. That's one of those things that's kind of shifted a lot because at the end of the day, like that's one of the more recent things coming out that, staying in the weight room is really just the way to keep your body healthy and make sure you stay on the field too.
For real. I will say one thing I did notice over here that's different is it's like you have an optional lift after you throw your bullpens. And then also at the same time, like right now with spring training, having everybody in here, it's different because, and plus, like I said, our big league side isn't separate from our minor league side. Like they have their own clubhouse and training room, but as far as weight room and cafeteria, we all share the same thing. Like, literally,
really?
Today, yes, I almost shat a brick in the breakfast line because first off, I'm over here, I'm scooping up eggs. Yeah, I'm scooping up eggs onto my plate, and I go to pass the spoon to the next guy. Chris Bryant. Yeah, and you don't have to edit that out. It's literally Chris. Chris Bryant. I was like, yeah, here you go, dog. And he's like, appreciate it. I'm like, oh. I'm like, bro, it's funny. Yeah, no, it's funny because like my mom grew up in Illinois, Chicago Cubs. Yeah, Chicago Cubs fan. Like, and I wanted to be like, bro, I ain't even gonna lie to you, dog. My mom would be starstruck.
That's a $200 million spoon,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. Oh, yeah. Hopefully some of that money will feel me. But, yeah, no. I mean, it was just cool because you're not – I like how the Rockies are about, like, basically everybody's got to be a homie. Like, that's the thing. Yeah. But it was just the fact of, like, bro, how they're so inclusive here. And it's not like – oh, okay, you're a big leaguer. Like, you can't mix with the minor league guys. So, with that being said, it's just like, it's a different environment, I would say, over here. And it's a different environment in a good way. So, you constantly see guys, like, if you're cool with them and they feel like opening up and talking, like, they're free to help you out and everything like that. So, it's like, you can't really complain. I'll go ahead and start opening up with the fact of whenever you've been doing this for so long and whenever you built up the trust within the org, they actually, like, the trust actually does increase in you, and you don't write your own script, but in a way you can kind of like maneuver to how you feel until it's time to actually get in games. But yesterday, just talking to the pitching coordinator, he basically asked me, since, Wednesday was my first day in, he asked me, like, hey, man, we have you penciled in for a bullpen sometime this weekend. Like, you could either throw it Friday or Saturday, but just basically communicate to us how you feel, everything like that. And, I told him I'm good to go for tomorrow because also at the same time, I want to see how my arm recovers on Saturday going into the off day on Sunday. But it is a lot different from what I'm used to because, like, how we all were whenever we first got drafted, it was like, this is what you're doing, like, no questions asked. And, like, if you feel bad, recover better. Like, that was basically it.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that part when I first got picked up. I actually had a rebellion with the team. Yeah, because in high school, dude, I threw twice a week, maybe start day and day before start day, something like that. Yeah, so when I got to
wait, hold on. Are you talking like
wait? Are you saying like literally like through? Are you talking about like?
I mean,
Just
like on
pick up
days
a
I go
baseball and
like
throw?
warm up before the game.
So
You know what I'm saying?
wait,
Like if
hold
I'm
on.
playing
I want to talk
shortstop or
about. I
something.
want to talk
Are
about
we talking
this.
about
Hold on. So
pitching, or
you
are we just
literally.
talking baseball?
And wait, hold on. So in high school, you literally
Yeah,
only threw 2 times a week to get yourself ready for your start.
yeah, easy,
You see,
perfect.
How
Yeah,
hard did you
nah,
throw in high school?
I was like 90. I was up to like a 4,
Some
something like
people
that.
just wow, that's not fair.
I don't
yeah,
know.
nah.
Dude, because I really didn't practice like my curveballs and sliders until like the day before I pitched, and then I just went and pitched.
Wow,
Okay, I
wow.
Yeah,
feel
but then
that.
I'd like,
Same. Yeah,
because the
I
other
feel that.
days my arm was hurting. Like my arm was hurting. Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it wasn't because I just didn't want to. It's like my arm, it doesn't feel good. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I want to do that.
And
So I
then,
got to transition to pro ball, and they came to me. I came outside the day after a bullpen, and they're like, "Why aren't you throwing?" I was like, "No, my arm hurts. Like I'll be good. I'm good." They're like, "Okay." They let me get away with it for like 2 more days, and then they pulled me to the side. They were like, "Reggie, you haven't thrown since Monday, dude." You know what I'm saying? It's Saturday. Like, what's up, dog? Like, what's going on? Are you hurt? He goes, I was like, nah, not right now, but I'll be good tomorrow. I got a bullpen tomorrow, right? He said, you haven't thrown since Monday, dog. You're not about to sit here and throw a bullpen you haven't thrown since Monday. But that was just all I knew. I was like, oh, but my arm hurts. Why am I supposed to throw? That's what I was telling them. Like,
all right. Do you think I just curious though? Do you think that if you could have gone back in time and like taught yourself like workload management, do you think you would have been able to like be better in high school, or do you think it wouldn't have even changed you?
I definitely would have got better. I feel
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not just going to say I was a kid that didn't do anything, but like in terms of like the art of pitching, like I worked
yeah,
out and stuff like that, but like
yeah.
art of pitching,
The
sequencing and
feel.
stuff like that. Yeah, I never really got that
Yeah.
until COVID. But yeah, that's another
Mm,
story.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Wow. Yeah, this is weird for me too. I'm actually I thought about it today. I think that I'm the oldest one in the organization on the minor league side, in the sense that I've had the longest time with the organization. I realized that
same
today, and
here.
there might be some guys who are coming in a few days that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. But right now, I realize that I'm now officially, I guess, a minor league vet, which is something that's a little new to me. I felt it a little bit last year, but this year really feels a lot different. But kind of talking on what Brendan was saying too, the ability to dictate a little bit more of your own routine. That's something that I have noticed a lot. I think the organization as a whole that I'm with is with the Phillies are going really good direction. Staff wise, everything. A lot of the information that's being passed around is good stuff. And it's cool that they're starting to trust too. I remember kind of talking about first spring trainings. Um, I remember showing up in 2018 spring training, having to throw a bullpen on the second day, rest day, bullpen, rest, up, down, bullpen. That was like the first introduction to spring training, and everybody did. There was no questions asked. And it's always one of those things that back then, I remember that first week and a half to 2 weeks of spring training, the body was just like dead. There was nothing I could do to pick it up. Everything was just tired. Man, I've seen it. It gives me such a better chance to get my body in the right spot, which is, all
Yeah.
spring training's about. I remember having to come in and be ready to feel like crap. That was something that like I was preparing for. So one of my old pitching coaches used to say the best way to get ready for spring training, this is like back old spring training, best way to get ready for spring training is to put on your spikes and go walk on concrete for 6 hours. And I was like, that's pretty spot on, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
very true.
you see, one of our old
Yeah,
coaches,
bro.
they
And
would
then just
say,
how your ankles feel, everything. Yeah.
yeah, one of our
Growing
old
up, bro,
coaches would
when I
always
was
say,
like
make sure,
under the age of 13,
uh,
I thought, oh shit, my fault. Didn't even see him.
Are you
Now, this
good?
Wi-Fi is
Brennan, don't worry about it.
trim.
I'll go back there and trim.
it's reconnected.
I will go
But
back
all
there
right,
and trim all this. All right.
hopefully I
Yeah.
could get this
Brennan,
on.
go ahead.
But no, so one of our old coaches would always say, he was like, dude, before you come to spring training, go out to like whatever park or like your old high school and stand out there for their whole practice in cleats. And like, high school practice, that should last like 4.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Okay.
dude, I had to get used to it. And I mean, like, I naturally do it now, like being back
Mm-hmm.
home. And I mean, bro, I come out here and I'm in spikes for maybe 2 hours, and I'm like, all right, this piece of cake. But just like being on your feet all the time and just like having to
Yeah.
run to go do this, and then it's like just I feel like the pace of nonstop activity is really the thing that you have to get right back into condition for, rather than just like kind of being on your feet per se.
Yeah.
I like that.
Talk about
I agree
that a
with
little
that.
bit more. I like that. Like, what do you?
Okay.
Because I know I can understand what you're saying about that nonstop activity, but like, go in on that because that's
Okay. Oh
I
yeah,
get that.
for sure. I'm talking like it's only us, but oh god, it's saying reconnected. But basically, just coming from all right, activation, right? You're activating in the gym. That's the first time that you're actually being like you're doing something, right? So it's gonna exert energy,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes out to the stretch line. From stretch, going straight into bands and plyos, and then it's like, all right, from that time, you've actually been moving for about a solid 30 to 45 minutes. And then coming from that, bands and plyos, you're working on this, working. But yeah, no, I would say that is that was the best part about like sharing like that 9 pack or the extended mounds that everybody has at their complex is just being able to, if you have the time to go over there and see like some of the greats in your org, and then like if they're similar guys to like your pitch profile, you take some notes, figure
Yeah.
out, oh okay, cool. And plus like as we get higher in this game, it's just like, dude, you get more particular about where you want to throw things and like your execution and everything like that, rather than like whenever we
Mm-hmm.
first get up here, we're like, oh, okay, can I throw this first strike? Let me try to throw this
Mm-hmm.
first strike. Now it's not that. It's like, oh, okay, well, if my fastball has the same carry, all right, well, maybe I should try to hit the same targets that so and
Yeah.
so, and just
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. No, I'm right on with that, man. I remember that's what I got. Honestly, so my first year of spring training was when I think Jake Arrieta got signed with the Phillies, I think, or like he just came in. I forget what it was, but he showed up to spring training late that year. And when I got assigned for low A that season, we had like one game in the big league spring training field before we left,
Yeah.
and he was still building up, so he came and pitched in that game. And my pitching coach, Brad Bergeson, actually, I think, played with him for a little bit, had a lap over, like knew him in some way, shape, or form, connected through the game, and like pulled him aside after, was just kind of talking to him, just asking him questions. And I remember sitting back there just listening to him talk about how he works his fastball and how he works his curveball, like everything just off that top tunnel, and everything for him is like here and here, and like that's all he's going to work off of. So he's going to drop that curveball at the bottom of the zone. He's going to let the fastball ride off top of it. And honestly, that was something that I was really getting into that year. And that's something that I literally just took and executed for the entire season. And in low A, it worked really well. Like that, being able to tunnel that and put everything exactly where you needed it to be. That's part of the reason I had the year I had, just picking up on what the big leaguer did, what made him successful. And then it's like, okay, let me try that. And there you go. It works.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I wish we had that opportunity because, like I was telling you guys, our minor league and big league staff is so separated that, like, we never even see them. So really, it's just us over here getting after it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, then again, we're all professionals. At the end of the day, it's just one has a couple more cameras on the other. So I mean, we're working on the same. Yeah.
A couple hundred.
Yeah, a couple more dollars.
You mean you got like 2 cameras on the minor league side and then way too many.
Well, it depends what the player is on the minor league side too. So
True.
It's typically on that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good point.
But yeah, I mean, like, but also one thing that does help me during spring training, going to the big league games. Like, if you don't get to see them throw on the backfields, you go to the game. All right, cool. This is what helped him. And then, like, even whenever you get a chance to back up, like, you're just sitting there in the bullpen or you're in the clubhouse with these guys. And I mean, it's like not necessarily you're going to ask questions in the clubhouse, but more so whenever the game is going on and it's like, oh, okay, cool. So it's like, oh, all right. Even just the most simple things. It's like, hey, dog, what would you throw here? And it's like that casual. But like, little does he know you're actually sitting here like trying to pick on to something, figure something out. But like, you're not just sitting there like, hey man, like blah blah blah. Like you're not gonna be that.
Yeah.
But and then
Yeah.
as far as
I think the big thing is talk about the game. Like if you talk about the game, anybody's open to talk about it. Like at the end of the day,
sure.
most of us love it. So you bring up the game, you'll have a conversation.
Boom, for sure. And I mean, like, even if you don't get the chance to back up, it's like, all right, who's pitching that day? See what worked for them, blah, 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 so forth and so on. But I mean, it's just like, dude, just constantly being a student of the game. And I feel like that's where a lot of like younger guys come in who are like super talented, but it really doesn't like kick in until they actually learn like, oh crap, like I can't just go up here and just blow heaters by everybody and snap off this pitch or that pitch. It's like boom, once they finally see that talent isn't enough, then that's whenever they start studying. But
yeah, no, I see that a lot. I mean, I think that pro ball's changed a lot, man. It really has. I try to compare, like I said, from the first spring training that I've had to now. It is literally night and day. I was about to tell you my routine. Like, I'll tell you the exact difference in routine, and that just kind of shows you the picture of the different organization that I've been through. So in 2018, I was always in the first arm care group. I'd show up at 5:45, and I would have to do scat patterns, 7-backs, and some other type of arm care.
5:45 p.m.
No, come on, Reggie. 5:45 a.m. Come on. It was miserable, man. That was a tough year.
Reggie.
So you'd show up at 5:45. Yeah, it was dude, this is like old school spring training, old school. So then we'd have nothing until 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is like orientation, where you go into the indoor cages and you have a meeting where all of the minor league complex is there, sitting cross-legged, just listening to him read the schedule. That's all it was. Like, we did that daily. It did not matter what was going on. So basically, I show up at 5:45, do my work for 15 to 30 minutes, sit around for an hour and a half. Like, I just got cold from getting hot, right? So you're supposed to do that. Then I go over and I sit down and I get even more stiff because now I'm sitting in the cages. Then I went out and did some sort of throwing, but I always had to go all the way across the street and walk probably like a quarter mile to the field we were supposed to go throw on. Only have 10 to 15 minutes for throwing, and then you had about 30 to 45 minutes of PFPs. Came back, got to get a snack, go into the weight room, do some like post-throw arm care, something like that, eat lunch. Then you go out and shag BP. Then I'm out there all day shagging BP. Dude, it was like when people talk about spring training now, like, wow, this is tough. I'm like, dude, this is a breeze. Because now I show up like the earliest I've shown up so far, I think, has been 9:30. I think that's the earliest I've shown up. But usually I'm showing up at 10 a.m., roll in, grab some breakfast, go into the clubhouse, change. I show up a little early too. Go hit my tissue prep. I'm out on the field by like noon throwing. Then I'm going into the weight room doing any type of recovery stuff or anything I need to do. Hit the showers and I get out. And I'm like, dude, this spring training so far, it has been like amazing. Like this, food's been better. Like everything just across the board. It's been different.
I mean,
and,
to be honest, spring training technically
hasn't started yet. So I'm not trying to get
for sure.
my
I just didn't want you to get too psyched.
No, whenever the games start, I'll have to stick around a little bit longer because you stay and you watch your teammates, you watch your guys competing for jobs, and it's always good to sit there and watch that too. Get back in the swing of baseball.
For sure.
I don't even know when those start.
Plus, I feel like some people throw their best shit in spring. I've been seeing some dudes come with some
seriously,
crap.
Yes.
All right, so that leads me to another point, right? So, for me, I was one of those guys. Like the past couple years was coming in and it's like, dude, mid-season form because obviously like you're competing for a job. But now that I've gotten older and with just having a shorter off season this year, it was just like I had that reality check of holy crap, this is what vets were talking about, how spring training is to prepare you for the season. Where it's like, all right, cool. You don't have to come in mid-season form because now you're sitting there trying to maintain that and you're more liable to get injured whenever July rolls around and then those dog days of August, which that's where it was a tough spot for me the past couple of years. So, like, my mentality is a lot different where right now it's like, all right, cool. I know I have a little bit more growth to do, but also at the same time, I'm not feeling like I was so far behind and having to come in mid-season form and everything like that.